So no goals at Old Trafford, but that image behind me is very much talked about in the 0-0 draw between Manchester United and Chelsea. The man involved as far as the visitors are concerned is the captain, Solskjaer Azpilicueta.
Cesar, what's your reaction to that result? Is it a good, solid point, and particularly a very solid defence that kept a clean sheet?
I have the feeling we could have done more. I think we found the spaces, but we didn't create that last pass, or we didn't pick the right pass, or the right decision. So I have the feeling, we defend, solid. They had at the end one save by Edu, and in the first half one mistake by us. But my feeling is that we could have got more from tonight.
In some ways, did either side do enough to take all 3 points?
No, I think it has been a game very even, where for moments we had our spells. We control. I think in the first half especially, we control better. In the second half, sometimes we rush it, and we didn't keep the ball enough, or we didn't move the ball good enough to create the space, and we went sometimes straight, and we lost possession too easy. So that meant that we lost a bit the control. So they are a dangerous team as well, but it's true that solidity from the team, from the whole team, great effort from everybody is important, but obviously we want more.
Could you, and do you believe should you, have had a penalty?
That's a good question, and in the pitch I felt yes, because I was in front of him, and I felt his both arm around my neck and my shoulders. So for me, the referee can make the decision. The VAR is there, and it's very difficult sometimes for the VAR to say yes or no. But for me, I encourage more to the referee here to go to the monitor. In any situation, I think they are the main. Tonight, Martin Atkinson was the main referee, so he has to take the main decisions, and the monitor is there on the side for him to help. So sometimes it's 50-50. I felt it was. So why not go take 20 seconds to review it? I think for me it's a little improvement from the VAR that could improve a lot moving forward.
As a defender, would you concede though that those type of grappling incidents do happen a lot in penalty areas? Yeah,
it happens, and it's football. I don't say every time there is a contact it should be a penalty. No, far from that, because especially here in England, always the belief of strong contacts, physical contact, unless you are far from the goal, and you don't have the intention to play in the ball. But I think I think football, and especially in the Premier League, the big league, and with the great players we have, always we have to see to improvement. And it's not a critic. Far from that. I think we can all help together to make a better league.
Very interesting thoughts from the Chelsea skipper there, Ryan.
Yeah, he's saying what we said at half-time. Why doesn't the referee on the pitch go over and have a look on the monitor? He's actually not saying it's 100% penalty either. He's just saying let the decision go to the referee, who's in charge, and he needs help, because you can see from Martin Atkinson's position, he can't see that. He's behind the players, and he can't actually see the arms around Azpilicueta. But
isn't that exactly why VAR was introduced?
Yeah. So I don't understand why this isn't looked at, but then the Marcus Rashford is looked at 3 or 4 times. So there's just no consistency, which is what frustrates fans, what frustrates us and players.
And Michael, if he'd seen that angle at the side of the pitch, Martin Atkinson, are you in any doubt he would have pointed to the spot?
No, I'm in no doubt at all. I think he would have pointed to the spot. I think that decision was borderline between the VAR saying to Martin Atkinson, that's a penalty, give it straight away, or go and have a look. It was a borderline between the two. The one thing it cannot do is say nothing, let's just brush it to the side, there's nothing to look at there. It has to be one or the other of those. I think he should have sent him to the monitor and said, it's not 100%er, but you need to look at this one. And I've no doubt whatsoever, if he had done that, he would have pointed to the spot.
Huge talking point from that game at Old Trafford. Here's the former Premier League referee, Dermot Gallagher, as always. So, Dermot, the obvious question to ask you, why didn't Stuart Atwell in VAR recommend Martin Atkinson going to the monitor?
I think it's solely because the ball was in play and he cleared it too quickly, Steve. I think he looked at it, he cleared it very quickly, he didn't scrutinise it. I think when you look at it in depth, as we have, there's no doubt whatsoever if Martin Atkinson is sent to the monitor, I think he would make a different decision. What I would say, Steve, even if he sticks with his on-field decision, it would be readily accepted more. I think what it does raise a good talking point, Steve, in so much as you talked about the one at half-time with Rashford, it was looked at a few times. I think when the ball's dead, as the Rashford one was, which I don't think is a penalty at all, it's much easier to look at it over and over again. This one, because it was looked at in play, it's almost as if you've got to make a decision instantly. And
what are they told to do, Dermot? What's the guidance on that then? Is he under pressure to make that quickly? We understand it was within 3 seconds.
No, he's under no pressure, Steve. But I think when he's looking at it, when the ball's in play, I think the VARs feel that they've got to make a decision a little bit quicker. And he did. He looked at it quickly. He cleared it quickly. And as I say, I think if they'd have scrutinised it, if they'd looked at it as we did, and this is the angle, and I think this is the angle. If he'd have said to Martin Atkinson, look, as Michael said, I think it's 50-50, I think you need to go and have a look. This is Martin's view. It's a lot more difficult, this, because you can't tell as well. The other side, I think if Martin had seen it, he would have certainly come to a different decision.
Dermot, I totally agree with you in terms of when VAR is making the mistakes, it's with mitigating circumstances, i.e. the game is continuing, or, as we saw last week with Virgil van Dijk, there's a decision to be made before that actual decision. But if everybody's aware of that, then surely we should be getting the message through to VAR to say, right, doesn't matter about time, even if the game is still going, it doesn't matter, we've got to get these right, because the only ones, or the majority of the ones are getting right at the moment, is when, as you say, there's an instant, then the ball goes out of play, and then we get time to look at it. Of course, that doesn't happen all the time, so surely that message has got to be getting across now.
I think, Michael, you've hit the nail on the head. I think that's absolutely right. And I think one of the learning points, because we learn every game, every day is a school day, as they say. People look at this when they go to camp over the Zoom, look at this and how do we arrive at this? Is it the right process? And tweak and tweak and tweak, week by week, so as you get it better. It's got to be a work in progress, Michael, because we've got to keep learning, we've got to keep evolving, we've got to keep moving forward. And as you say, we've got to do the best to get what people expect is a correct decision.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed. That is the view of the former Premier League referee. Here's the view of the Manchester United manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Ollie, it finished honours even. What did you make of it?
Well, I think two teams that played in Europe this week. I think it shows a little bit in the first half, not the greatest. And I think second half we push on, and if that Stretford end is full, we might get some help and get that ball over the line. I think we pegged them back, created half-decent opportunities. A very good block by Thiago Silva there, and great save by the keeper. He's made a couple of fantastic saves against Marcus. So, all in all, a good defensive performance, and we created enough big chances or at least the two big ones that could have given us a win. You alluded to that first half, or the first part of that first half in particular. Do you think both teams were a bit hesitant almost? Well, we've been to Europe, both of us, this week and played. Of course, we all remember what happened to us after last time we won in Paris. So that was important for us to show that we can come against a good team. And yeah, we started sloppy, but I think after about 20-25 minutes and the rest of the game that we kept more possession. We created some pressure on them without too many big chances, but the ones we got were big ones.
Do you think the way they set up made it more difficult for you?
Well, every team's got their own different ways, and that system there with 3 forwards, narrow, and 3 centre backs, it's always hard to play against. And they played well. They played it against us last season in the FA Cup and beat us. Today, I thought we were the closest to winning the game.
What's the biggest positive from today for you?
Well, you have a clean sheet. You have some pressure. You've stopped the home run with defeats. We wanted to win, of course. Of course, you want to win a game of football at home, but I think it's a solid performance when you think of the week we've had. We've had a very good week with 2 wins and a draw.
Are there positives in that for you?
Oh yeah, stopping that run. You don't want 3 defeats at home. But that's about it, really. I thought the quality wasn't great that we have seen in the last league game and also midweek. So whether it was a little bit of a hangover from that, I'm not too sure. But just the intensity wasn't there that you expect in these sort of games, and the quality that is on the pitch. You know, you expect more clear-cut chances.
Edinson Cavani, we've been had to be patient. His first touch was impressive. What did you make overall?
I love this guy's movement, Steve. He's my type of striker. I've always said half a yard at the near post is better than 2 or 3 yards at the back post, because invariably the ball don't get there, and if it does, defenders turn, spin, close you down. And watch, I mean, the way he just before that, there's just see that he tried to make the run and then comes back out and makes the same run again. Again here, he waits. The timing of his run, you can just see him. He's on his toes, and then boom, he just makes. Now, Thiago, he played alongside him, didn't he, at Paris Saint-Germain last season? So he'll know exactly. Yeah, so he'll know exactly how he does it, when he's trying to time. You could see that, talking about knowing your players. So great defending. Normally, against most defenders, he might have got there in front, nicked it, and they wouldn't have got a block in. So we only saw a brief cameo. I've seen him for years and years. I've always thought he's probably one of the best movers in the game in terms of those little darting runs. He loves nipping in front of defenders. And I think he's going to score a few. As long as Manchester United have pressure on the ball, have pressure on the opponents, they get crosses in, he very much is an 18-yard box type of striker that makes darting runs.
Can they create enough chances for somebody like him?
I mean, I think they're going to have to watch his movement. I think I've said it before, that when Robin van Persie come to the club, we weren't finding him quick enough because his movement was so good, but early, you had to play the ball quickly. I think Cavani may be in that bracket where his movement is good. You mentioned, Mo, about his offsides. So you have to play the ball quickly, otherwise he will be offside. But you've just seen a little clip there of the quality that, you know, he can possess.